All right, y'all, welcome back to another video of your study guide. We're going to be looking at section C, checkpoint. This one is actually a little bit more faster than the other one. I'm just going to take my time and break it down so that way you understand it really well. It says a modified population of bacteria grown under certain conditions is given by the function f of t is equal to 25 times e to the power of 0.1 t, where the population is measured in thousands. So they tell me that the population is measured in thousands. That right here is very important. T represents the number of hours. So T is the number of hours after the experiment begins. Explain what each of these values mean in the situation. So let's do some quick little review, okay? This first problem, if I'm looking at f of t is equal to 25 times e to the power of 0.1 t, if I remember, my formula says that P of t is equal to, A times e to the power of r and t, where A was what? Do you remember what A was? What is my A? I always like to think of A as the first letter in the alphabet, so that has to be the first number, the first value, the initial value, okay? So A is going to be, like I said, my initial value. Let me scroll a little bit up. I don't know why that spot doesn't work, but it's my initial value. It's my initial value. So what is 25 representing? Well, 25 is representing the population when we first started the experiment, right? So in this case, it's 25,000 because it's population in thousands. 25,000, which was the population when we started. Okay? Again, you want to answer your questions in complete sentences so that way it makes sense to whoever is grading your test. In this case, me, right? But for like your upcoming state exams like the SBAC and like your AP exams and other classes, you want to make sure you're answering complete questions, okay? Let's look at 0.1. So what is 0.1 representing? Now, some of you are going to say, oh, well, 0.1 is the rate. So you're going to say, oh, my percentage rate is 0.1. Again, that is wrong. Don't do that. Whenever I want you to explain to me what the rate is, I don't want to see a decimal. I want to see the percentage. So the 0.1 represents the 10%. And in this case, if it has an E, it's continuous. So I'm going to say 10% continuous. Continuous, that's a U, continuous growth rate. Okay? 10% continuous growth rate. So that's what it represents. If you have any questions about this problem, let me know. Again, this should be a little bit straightforward. You have this in your notes, but if you do have questions, raise your hand, ask me. I'll be happy to help you out. Good luck on your test, and I'll see you for part D.